Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm having a fantastic day, to say the least. We are back in Transport Fever 2. If you guys remember, I had a series going where I was inside of the European theming, and that series I'm actually continuing today. Now, there are going to be some changes that I'm taking place with this series, mostly because I want to let this series last either as long as my longest running series, which is Transport Fever itself, and I think it was around about 40 episodes. So that was a feat in of itself. So I want to let this series last longer. And in game right now, if you guys remember, the last time I had this episode, or an episode for this series, it was back in July. Well, July in real time. So roughly 3 months ago. In fact, the day I'm recording this, it's been exactly 3 months since the last save file was saved onto the game. Which is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy indeed. So we're just standing here over at Wivelscolm's construction material plant, and we're overseeing some of the construction materials being manufactured. Now, a couple of things that I actually had in mind for today's video, or today's episode, I should say, not video, but is I wanted to increase the efficiency of the lines. Now, I've done some testing in like some other offline worlds, and I've came to a conclusion that should be relatively easy to understand, but hopefully it's going to be even easier for you guys to go ahead and make sense of, hopefully. With that said, I do want to also let you guys know that later today I'm actually going to be live over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LeoGimmonYT. Link is in the description, where we'll actually be playing a few rounds of Among Us. If you saw my video that got posted on my channel just a couple days ago, or actually just about a week and a half ago now, then you'll know that, well, actually no, it's not a week and a half, it's less than that, less than a week. So you'll know that I've actually been playing a couple games of Among Us with one of my Discord groups that I'm in. In fact, it's actually a Discord group that I'm a partner of. So if you guys want to go check out that live stream, then you are more than welcome to go and take a look. We go live at 5 p.m. Central Time, which equals 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want to try and convert it from that, then you are all good to do so. Anyway, let's go ahead and get straight on into this and see what we can do. So as I had mentioned, I had wanted to go ahead and increase the efficiency of our construction materials, because right now we're not getting as much as what we can handle. Because right now this actual materials plant is a level 4. Well, technically it's a level 2 because each 2 bars is equates to about 1 level. So this is a level 2 construction material plant. With that said, level 2 means that it can produce up to 400. In order for us to do that, we need to have a rate of at least half of that amount, or 75% of that amount, I believe it is, coming from its incoming resource. So in this case, it is coming from stone, which is the quarry that we have coming from this train right here. Now it's hauling about 64 stone per trip. Now, how much does that translate in terms of the rate of the line? If I filter out to what we can only physically see, you can see that the actual Wivelscolm stone has a rate of 210. It's not 75% of the rate that we need it to be, but we can get it there. So the best way to go and do that is, one, upgrading the train, because frankly, upgrading the train means that it's just gonna run faster. It's going to be able to get the goods going a bit quicker, and it's going to make it so that way the resources are getting over faster anyway. Now, if I do go take a look at the Wivelscolm Central's stone facility here, or quarry, we got well over 200 stone waiting right here. So we need to get that transported ASAP pretty much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manage the vehicle on this line real quick, and I'm going to go and queue it for some replacement. Now we do got electric vehicles, and I am very tempted to use an electric vehicle as it would also increase our hauling power that we are able to go ahead and truck across with us. If we were to do that, then that will be roughly a $5 million upgrade. And that's just on one train. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not the most efficient or not the most effective thing to do. Of course, we're still going to be limited to a 75 kilometer per hour speed limit. But if I take a look here, those carts that we have are these ones right here, and they have a top speed of 80. So as long as we can stay below that, we should be perfectly fine. So I think going with the electric will be perfectly fine for us, but that does mean we also have to upgrade the actual tracks themselves. I think that's what we're also going to do. Now, since the last time I actually played the game, there's been a couple improvements to the game, to say the least. One is that we are upgrading the track of a station. It's only going to update the individual track. It's never going to update all of the tracks for you, just the one that you're upgrading. So, plain and simple right there. And then we're just going to go ahead and get all of this right here. Actually, no, that does not need to be upgraded. So we can get that bit upgraded. We could also get a second train on this line. That would also help us in terms of our rate of transport. But I feel like that would be too much, because that would increase our rate to too high of a number than what we want it to be. So let's go ahead and first upgrade the vehicle itself. With that said, let's go ahead and grab our electric locomotive. And we have a capacity of 64, but we could also increase its capacity by getting a few more state cars on there. I think I want to just get 2 more on there just to go and get it to 80 capacity. Now, I think that this is a 160 kilometer or 160 meter station, so we'll go ahead and fit the train itself. So we can modify that for 6.1 million, which it takes up about half of the money that we currently have. Yay. We'll do that right now. Also, I actually replaced it with the wrong type of cars. Let me quickly fix that. That was a derp on my part. There we go. That was a quick fix that we were able to take care of. Now, its top speed is 75 kilometers per hour. And also, something I did want to mention is I've adjusted the type of audio that I'm using for the game itself. I'm no longer using the music that is actually included in the game, mostly to go ahead and limit the possibility of ever getting a copyright claim, because I want to try and avoid those, hopefully. So with that said, I'm hoping that we're not going to have any issues. I'm hoping, that is. It can always change, matter of minutes. So let's see. He gets 519,000. That's perfectly fine. But let's just go ahead and wait to see what he can do. Also, in case you guys don't know, I have the date paused right now in 1922 at the very end of it on December 31st. Why do I have it paused at that point in time? Well, because I wanted to wait on year progression, so that way, one, it can wait a bit longer, to be honest with you. I kind of don't want to have year progression going too quickly, and I want to kind of stick within this era for at least the next 3 episodes, because once when 1925 hits, we really start to get a lot more of the electrical based vehicles, or at least the beginnings of them, that is. We don't necessarily get them as like you would be getting like hotcakes, but you do get them on a somewhat frequent basis as long as you're running through the years. I'm not running through the years right now, so we don't need to worry about that. Now, what did that increase our rate to? That increased our rate to 265. That's actually really good. We could also increase that again because we do have a longer platform than the actual train itself. If I just go ahead and wait for the train to arrive here, then the train is shorter than the platform. Yeah, so it's well within its right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the game real quick, and I'm going to quickly do a sneaky little addition of 2 more gondolas. Okay. That was a bit irritating. Autosave kicked in right as the train was braking and after I had upgraded it, so I had to cut that part out. But now we should also see that the rate of the line has increased. Yes, to 346. That's very good. So that means that the train will be able to hopefully adhere to the actual demand of the construction material plant. If we just run on 2 times speed here, we can see that the construction material plant is already out of resources. So once when the actual train brings on in, it's going to get its resources, of course. It's going to get more stored, of course. But then how much is it going to get stored? That's a different story. So right now its production is only at around 200. Once when that train comes in, though, that should jump back up. I'm not too sure to what number, but it should be considerably good. Let's see. So it's coming in at 192. And then the production starts to increase already because it's getting a load of stone coming in. Now that should go and increase it to, I'm going to estimate about 210. That's what I'm estimating. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what I think it will be increased to. So to go ahead and help out this train, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to decrease the number of cars that it has. Why? Well, simply because I want to put an additional train on that line. So it's going to have 10 cars on there. Its rate does go down to just below 300, which is perfectly fine. And we can go ahead and come over here, Wilscombe Stone, because it's the only one we can see. And we want to go ahead and duplicate it. Now, duplicating it, if I am correct, costs about 12 million. No, 9 million. Okay, 9.7 million. So that's a bit more than what I thought. I guess that I was including some extra cars or something like that. But anyway, we're going to duplicate this. And that should bring our rate on that line close to 600. Now that means it's able to go and transport 600 units of stone per in-game month, I believe it is. So there's that, and that will increase the rate of efficiency right there. However, I think that's going to be a bit too much because I know for a fact that the stone quarry will decrease in terms of production or won't actually meet that production amount because of the fact that we're not adhering to all of its demands. Right now, it's only adhering to the demand of its resource that it currently has. It's only being transported 56% of what it's already produced. Once when we get this down to a considerable number, then this should go ahead and hopefully jump up to somewhere in the margin of about 80%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and skip forward to when the next train comes into this station, and then we're going to go ahead and see what this transport ratio is at. Okay, so here comes our train. I have the GUI hidden right now because I want to actually see this thing, and I also want to get a sneaky little screenshot. There we go. Perfect. Now let's see, what did that actually bring our production up to? 63%. So it's now transporting 63% of the goods, and that's gradually going to go up. Previously it was at 56%, now it's at 63%. So in theory, that should go ahead and increase by about 6 to 7% each time one of these trains pick up some cargo. Now, with that said, the actual percentage will go down if we're servicing it too much. Because of our rate that we currently have on that line being close to 600 right now, it's making it so that way we're always going to be transporting stone on this branch right here. And that, in a way, is a good thing, but because it's a consistent source of income for us. But in another way, it just means that we are overburdening this quarry to the point where it's saying, I can't produce anymore. You need to outsource to somewhere else, which I think that's what we can do right over here. So in case you guys didn't know, this seed actually has these two quarries literally on opposite river ends of each other, which I think is incredible. When I was actually first playing through this map, I didn't realize that this quarry was here. I might have, to be honest. With you, I don't really know. But when I was testing out the map before recording, I noticed that I was like, you know what? Increase the production of these stone by getting another quarry thrown into the mix, which that's exactly what we're gonna do. We have some funds to go and do that, so we can easily take care of that. We're just gonna get a single track station over here for our stone quarry. We're gonna have it be right there, and we're gonna bring the tracks right across the river. Since we're not gonna need any, of course, boats coming all the way down here, we don't need to worry about navigable waters, so that's perfectly fine. I'm also gonna level this out. That way we keep a solid level. I'm also wanting to keep it at about 75 to maintain its top speed. Or at least the top speed for the electrical train that we're using. So there's that. And then I want to go ahead and bring it like so. Now we do got to go and bring in another water. In fact, I think keeping it going straight over and then having it do a sharp turn in is going to be the best course of action to make. In fact, before I do that, let's go ahead and actually get our additional platform put in, because we're going to need that. And then, let's see, let's go and get our track here. I'm going to get it set for 90. That way we actually got it right there. In fact, I'm also going to need to have this be electrified, because we are going to need that. Now, this is going to be the iffy part. I'm going to need to branch this entire thing right here over to that bit of track. I think that's fine for the time being. That's not necessarily the cleanest of junctions, but I think it will have to do. Just go and get our point across. Maybe if we want to have it go a little bit faster, we have it go at a 60 instead. I think that will work fine. Okay, and all those trains really don't like me messing around with their actual track itself. Also, let's go and get this onto the road here. And then we're going to need to bring it like so. It is going to go in a little bit of a downhill, which I kind of don't want. I'm okay with it going down in that right there, but I think that's perfectly fine. So one thing that I can also do is I can press shift and I can raise in smaller increments. And these smaller increments really do make a difference. I want it to be just right there. Yes. And then it's going to match that increment until we actually turn it off. So let's go ahead and... Oh, yeah, that's... Okay, yeah, that works. Here, we just want it going straight right there. There we go. And then we can go and have it level off here. And hopefully connect easily this bit of track. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted right there. Nice straight bit of track for us to bring some more stone in. So with that said, we also need to focus on double tracking it, because double tracking is going to be necessary in order for us to have multiple trains running. It also is going to be helpful in terms of increasing the rate, not only of the quarry, but also of the construction materials plant. So we can do that simply. I'm just going to connect it to right here. I'm going to keep it at 75 just so that way we can keep a top speed going. And then I'm going to have it come up to pretty much where the bridge is. In fact, I'm going to get the spur going so that way I know what I'm looking at. There we go. Let's bring it all the way across. Perfect. Now, normally whenever I'm setting up signals such as these, I usually like to have both a passing signal, or not passing signal, a blocking signal, where it actually tells you to block the intersection, and then a release signal. Well, I think that's more so explained on a bit of one-way track. Not right there, because that's a bit of two-way track. I'm trying to figure out what's a good spot to use. Like right here. When you're coming out of the depot, you don't necessarily need to have the signal right here. So this is the real only signal you need. So that's what I'm getting at right there. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's go ahead and get signal right here. Another signal down here. We could make those one-way signals only, but I think that's fine for now. What we'll do is we will go ahead and create the line, and we'll go and tell it its rule, where it will pick up stone in a full load at this station. At the other station, it's going to drop off all of the stone that it has on board. Simple. Now this is actually one of those lines that I haven't named. I actually got to go and rename some of the lines that need to actually be renamed. So there's that. Let's go ahead and rename this to, what do I have Wivelscombe set for? Wivelscombe is WVL. So I'm going to call this WVL Stone number 2. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to rename this one to be number 1. So there is that. Now what we can do is we can get another train going on there, but I'm going to have to wait a little while because frankly that's going to be a challenge in of itself. Yay. So there's that. What are you? Oh yeah, you just finished picking up. Perfect. Let's actually check the production rate of you. You're at 99%. That is perfect. 100% now. Awesome. So I think when it gets to 100%, it actually slows down on production a little bit because it can't keep up with the rate of the line. So in order to fix that, we have to correct our own line. So let's see here. You've already passed that signal. So what I need to do is I need to wait for this train right here, train 4. Do I want to put train 4 in the depot, or do I want to put train 13 in the depot? I kind of want to put train 13 in the depot. So I'm going to cut to where train 13 is just arriving back to this station. And then we're going to send it over to the depot first. We're not going to sell it. We're going to send it over to the depot, and then we're going to put it onto that that stone line. So that way we can make it so that way that vehicle is actually having a good source of pretty much income generating on it. Nothing crazy though. So that's train 4. I'll go and cut to when train 13 comes back in. Okay, so it looks like our train 13 has just pulled back into the construction materials plant station. So we now have the opportunity to go and tell it to go back to the train depot. Let's go and have it do that. Go back to the depot. Thank you. And you're going to head on your way over to the other stone line when you get in there. I'm going to drop down to 42 kilometers per hour. Also, I do got to say, I love the crocodile, which is one of my favorite electric trains in the game itself. The crocodile and the American version, which I believe is a Pennsylvania Railroad one. I don't remember what it's called though. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to tell it to be set on the Wivelscombe Stone 2. I'm going to wait for the train here in the center to go ahead and move out. And do we have any trains incoming? It does not look like it. So as soon as that train departs, which it has, go ahead and get it set on that other stone line. So it's going to wait for a free path for the moment. And then when this track right here clears, there it goes. It leaves the actual depot. and goes into the station. Perfect. What we want. It's gonna go into the station with an empty load, but it's gonna head over to the quarry, which I'm hoping is actually gonna start producing stone. So far it hasn't. Let me actually check the line because I've done this before. Yeah, I say pick up stone at Wivelscombe. No, you're not supposed to do it at... Oh, looking at the wrong line. So Upper Wivelscombe, you are to pick up stone and drop off said stone at the construction materials plant. Perfect. That's the idea, that is. So why are you not producing? Maybe it's just that it hasn't recognized that the vehicle is on the line? I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back to this because having a train that is not carrying anything is not necessarily good for profit. So I will have to come back to that just to check the efficiency on it. But speaking of our other stone train, let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Right now, this line is maintaining a rate of 210. Let's actually increase that by giving it some additional gondolas. So we have to stick below 160, which is fairly easy to do. Let's just go ahead and give it 1, 2, 3. I think I want to give it 4, so that way it's at its maximum length that it can be within the station. So 1.4 million to do that. Let's do it. So it's now has 14 trains, or 14 carriages, for that matter, and has a rate of just below 300. Nice. Now, its maximum capacity now should be somewhere around, I want to guess 108? Actually, no, that is 112, so I wasn't too far off. Okay. So as soon as this gets to 112, which I think it will get there fairly soon, to be honest, it does wait for a full load when it's inside of the station itself, so that's pretty simple. Let's actually go check a look at this one. It hasn't started producing. Why not? You're within its coverage radius. It says it's only shipping 7. I don't believe that number. I don't believe that number one bit. I'm gonna have to do some offline testing with that between the next episode and this one. With that said, I think I'm gonna call it there for this episode. We mostly focus on the construction materials plant and increasing the efficiency of it. Right now, I think that I figured out the reason why the actual quarry wasn't producing, because the materials plant has too much in storage. Okay, well, I guess we have to increase the efficiency of the delivery lines. Yep, looks like that's going to be the case, but I think that will be for next episode. If you guys like this episode, do go ahead and hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, and I'll check you guys in the next episode.